Well, ladies and gentlemen, so today we are going to be doing 10th Lord in the 3rd house. And what happens when the planet that controls your 10th house in your horoscope is sitting in the 3rd house in your horoscope. And obviously, if you do not know where your 10th Lord is placed and where your other placements are, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light. So, what is 10th Lord? Or 10th house? Well, to get a detailed description of the 10th house, for that check out the links in the description section so you can get a 7-minute video on what 10th house is, because it's a fairly long description for this series. But mainly 10th house represents your workplace, your work environment. It represents your relationship with the father. It shows relationship with authorities, with the government. It shows that how your image is into the world, how your reputation is in society. One thing it doesn't show exactly what career you're going to do, because you're going to fail every time you do that. It's simply the kind of work environment you work in or you do, okay, regardless of what career you have. So when this planet that is controlling the 10th house goes into the 3rd house, well, what is the 3rd house? 3rd house is communication, short distance travel, siblings, media, information gathering, marketing, sales, acting, skills with hands, technical skills, mechanical skills, artistic skills. So fairly, it's a very interesting house per se, okay? So when this planet goes into the 3rd house, what this shows is that your work environment will require you to travel to short distance, will require you to do a lot of sales, will require you to do a lot of marketing, will require you to deal with people near you, like your close neighbors, siblings, friends, your local community, like your local places that you live at. So your work environment, even if you're an actor, you're going to be dealing with these things. If you're an actor versus some other actor, you're going to be forced to sell your movie far more than the other actor. You see how this relates to. If you're an attorney, you're going to have to market a lot more than the other attorney to get your business. So really your work environment is all about dealing with these kind of scenarios of the 3rd house. It also shows that because 3rd house represents your siblings and 10th house represents authority, shows that you kind of enforce your authority on your siblings. Whether they're elder siblings or younger siblings, you're like, hey, I am the authority figure, you better listen to me. And what happens with this can become a very power struggle environment with your siblings. This also becomes a very power struggle, and a lot of efforts and struggle are being met in your work environment and with your siblings and friends because you try to take over things. At your workplace, you treat your co-workers as your siblings, yet you treat them like your younger siblings, no matter if they're young or old. So you kind of try to take over the authority over them. And shows that your father was the really a person or an authoritative figure like father growing up, was the person who kind of showed you how to communicate with people regarding business, how to communicate with people regarding work, regarding, anything related to the professional life. However, what the good part is with this kind of a position is that a person becomes very communicative. They love to communicate in their work environment. Your work environment will involve you communicating, whether written communication, a lot of typing, a lot of writing, or communication of the voice, whether you being an actor and talking, whether you being a marketer and talking, whether you being a salesman and talking. But it will always require you to communicate in order to really make your professional work life excel. Okay. Now, depending upon what planet is controlling the 10th house and sitting in the 3rd house, we'll differentiate these things. So let's discuss that. Let's say if Sun controls your 10th house and Sun goes into the 3rd house, what this shows is that this is the placement where you become completely authoritative over your siblings, over your teammates at work, over your co-workers. Shows that there's a lot of ability to dominate and be a very serious communicator. Like you're the kind of person that people may not like at workplace because you're very much compartmentalized in your mentality, personality, ego, and self-esteem. When you communicate, you say, let's do this is what we're going to do, and this is the procedure we're going to follow. We don't want to think outside the box. These are the people who have a hard time thinking outside the box. They want to follow the rules and regulation and stay within the confines of that. Whether they market, sell, they communicate, they're technical, they're mechanical. Like hardly, these people have the ability to really excel over their creative pattern unless Rahu or Venus is supporting the third house. Because here Sun, is authoritative figure, government figure, and shows that the father was extremely strict regarding how you communicated with other people. Like, when you went out and as a child, when you do not say hello to someone or say thank you to someone, your parents are like, hey, come on, do it. Your father will be like, if you don't do it, I will beat the shit out of you. This is the kind of hardcore communicative environment you grew up in. So what happens is this kind of instilled in your work environment. It kind of came into your personality that when I communicate, I want other people to listen. So in a way, these people make great government administrative, great government communicators. They make good workers, okay? But when they do their own business, when they try to do their own thing, the thing is, they are very much into the box mentality. So they have a hard time thinking outside of it because marketing and salesmanship and traveling has a hard time coinciding with this earth sign of Capricorn. If Sun was in Libra, if Sun was in Taurus, if Sun was in even Virgo, it would have been a far better, time for a person with this condition to have a very good marketing strategy. But here, they're sticking to the rules of marketing, where there are no such rules. You have to market in such a unique, different way. So when people do this with this placement, they always have support of the other planets. But they make very strict communicators. And, even their traveling is all regarding relation to authorities. When they go travel, they're meeting some sort of an authority. So let's say if Moon controls your 10th house, Moon goes into the third house, shows that your ability to communicate with other people is very philosophical, spiritual, and perhaps even religious. Your work environment requires you to use your higher knowledge, will require you to have a philosophical thinking pattern to do good at work. Your traveling, perhaps related to spiritual deeds, related to religion. Your communication with the siblings is very good. It's all about spiritual and philosophical communication. Your mind feels balanced when in your workplace you are bringing a philosophical view. You are bringing a very strategic, higher elevated thinking. So somebody with a great writing skills, somebody will do a lot of writing, a lot of public speaking, a lot of good marketing here. A very good placements for Moon to go into even, preaching to local communities. Great politicians with this more than the Sun, because here your philosophical view will come out in your communication. And people love the philosophical side of life. They love the spiritual communication, like Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins. If Tony Robbins says you will never do good if you don't do this, nobody will want to watch him, right? People watch him because he makes a winner out of a failure through his communication. That's what this Moon does. Let's say if Mercury controls your 10th house, Mercury goes into the third house. Well, Mercury is the significator of the third house in a way, along with Mars, because it's communication, it's skills, it's talent, it's sales and marketing. So Mercury does very well with this things related to the third house. Your work environment will be all about communication, will be all about marketing, will all about like using your communication skills. Here you will do more written skills and more skills of using your hands in your work environment. Perhaps you're a writer, perhaps you become a blogger, perhaps you're an attorney who does a lot of writing more than the verbal communication, because Mercury is representing hands of writing. If you are in entertainment, you may become a script writer. You may become a somebody who just writes scripts or copyright scripts, magazine editor. So no matter what the environment is, even if you're a plumber, you're using your hands, right, to fix things. So these are the kind of work environments you go into. Shows a very communicative environment with the siblings. You and your siblings have this viewpoint of the world that, hey, let's do something good together. Let's bring societies up together. So fairly a good placements for Mercury. Let's say Venus goes into the third house, ruling the 10th house, shows that your communication will involve a lot of creativity. No matter if you're an attorney, you're going to have to market in a creative way. No matter if you're an insurance salesman agent, you're going to have to sell yourself in a very creative way. Your work environment will be full with women who are very creative. You're surrounded by women. You're surrounded by sisters. You're surrounded by, women who are trying to communicate with you at work. Your team may be filled with females. You will work with a lot of females. And your communication is very soft, elegant, and is filled with a lot of artistic background. Even if you are an attorney, you will use your creative communication to bring in the business. But really, you can really, in a media business, these people excel because they have the creative thinking to go out there and sell their product. If Rahu is with it, man, that's just breaking all the boundaries and rules and just doing something unique with your communicative ability to make your money. Let's say if Mars controls your 10th house, Mars goes into the 3rd house, shows that your communication is very authoritative. It's very much energized. You energize, you motivate people in your team. You motivate people in your work environment. Your work and your work environment is all about motivating people around you. It's all about showing that, no, let's do the hard work and let's meet our goals. When you sell something, you're all about, hey, let's do this together. Like you're just one of those hardcore salesmen who are very aggressive in their communication, who are all about action. You're all about taking action in your work. Your work involves perhaps going around in a local community, traveling in a local community, taking a lot of physical action. So like firefighters, policemen, somebody who goes out and saves lives in a local community. And your work environment will be all about competition, will all be about physical energy being exerted in the work environment. Perhaps you're an attorney who travels and saves criminals, who goes out and aggressively pursues a court case far more than other attorneys. And a lot of aggressive communication. So you see how this can differentiate things. Let's say if Jupiter controls your 10th house, Jupiter then goes into the 3rd house, shows your ability to, your work environment will be all about communication of advising people, communication of nourishing people. You are counseling people at your work. You're a great manager. You're a great leader who is able to, with your voice and with your written skills, to persuade other people to do the work they need to do. Your work environment really requires you to use your intelligence more than your physical part of your, yourself. And this Jupiter can make a really great singer. Classical arts, music, dance. You're all about elevating your team workers in a very polite, in a very great manner where your voice just motivates people. They feel that you are their teacher. Your siblings will feel that you are their teacher. You are this guru type personality. With Mars, you'll be getting in power struggles with your siblings, which I forgot to mention. With hair, a relationship with the siblings will be motivating your siblings to do better in their work life. So all in all, a very great position for Jupiter to be in. As a great advisor, a counselor, somebody who writes to motivate other people. Where Mars will write and communicate to fight and destroy other people. Saturn controls the 10th house, goes into the 3rd house. Well, when Saturn controls this part, then Saturn shows that your ability to communicate with your siblings, your co-workers, your teammates becomes very dominating. You're very strict about these things. You compartmentalize everything. And this is why these people are always left alone in life in terms of working in a work environment. These are the people who should be doing business. These are the people who work alone, who want to work by themselves and do not want to manage other people. Because people start hating them. Like you will go into a team work environment, you'll try to take over. You'll say, no, we're not going to do this, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this is the way it's done, and do not argue with me. Because Saturn is very strict about these things. Your communication, when you communicate, you'll communicate for hours and hours and hours to sell something. So it's very hard for you to sell something unless you have support of other planets. You constantly are learning things. Your communication is always developing very slowly. So by the time you hit your mid-30s, that's when you realize, okay, this is how I need to communicate with my siblings. This is how I need to communicate with my work people, my co-workers. So in their 20s, they have this mentality that no, it's just me, 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 me. And Saturn, as you know, is all about discipline, work ethics, hard work, organization. So these people are very good at organizing things. The thing is, other people think of themselves as complete assholes. So they do not want to work with them because they're very strict. They say, I want you to be here at 4 o'clock. You're not here at 4 o'clock, you're fired. So even if the person, as a manager, your co-worker gets into an accident, shows up 20 minutes late, you're there fired. Because you are so strict about these things. You always want to be on schedule with things. Your communication ability is very depressing, dark, and realistic. You always tell the realistic side of life to your coworkers, like, well, if we don't get this done, we're going to get fired. So you better do this. Where Jupiter will be like, look, no matter how hard it is, I know we can do it. Let's do it. It's easy, guys. You see the difference of communication here. So these people are far better doing their own thing than working under someone else in a work environment, right? So guys, this was my analysis of 10th Lord in the 3rd house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know where your 3rd Lord is placed and all your Lord through houses and details for that, check out the links here and all my books regarding the secrets of astrology. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.